Welcome back to Nick Landis Comic Corner Classics. That's non-classics. This is episode number 1788 and Doubleshot number 1682. I have two DC trades collecting comic books that came out in the 1980s. Now, this one I've kind of discussed before, a little bit mostly when I discussed the original trade that collected this miniseries. I'm not talking about the Brian Michael Bendis book. Oh no, I'm talking about, well, here we go. Superman, Man of Steel, Volume 1. This collected the original Man of Steel miniseries written and drawn by John Byrne. Now, this book also contained the first 4 issues. Yeah, it's pretty much, yeah, these are the issues you have in this book. You have the 6 issue miniseries Man of Steel. The first four out of 226 issues for Superman Volume 2, Action Comics 584 to 587, and Avengers of Superman issue 424 to 428. Fun fact about these issues here. Now, this was originally simply called Superman. In the final issue, what was called this book before it was changed, Avengers Superman, was issue 423. From 424 to 649, this book was known as Avengers Superman. As for Action Comics, name never changed. Though it did basically maintain this triple-digit numbering for a long time. It didn't suffer its first relaunch until 2011. Yes. Now, the Man of Steel miniseries, simply put, it's a reintroduction of Superman in the post-crisis continuity. Him, although debuts, well, in a way, with the exception of Lois. Lois actually made her debut in Bates to Boost to Gold, but this book here, you had a debut of Superman, Ma and Pa Kent, also a reduction to Lex Luthor, who, by the way, in the main miniseries, he's got red hair and he's kind of chunky. That's simply how he showed up. We also have the debut of Daily Planet, Jimmy Olsen, and of course, well, Perry White, obviously. And that's up with the Kryptonians. In the final issue of the miniseries, we have the post-crisis appearance of Lana Lang, Superman's childhood friend. Also, this miniseries even has the first time that Superman met Batman post-crisis. In this story, well, this is of course according to this book, not counting this that happened in Superman Batman. This book mostly, I think it was issue 4, I believe it was, where they teamed up to take on a Batman villain called Magpie, who is occasionally around this very day. She's made sporadic appearances since this issue came out. I mean, her next appearance right after this issue was issue 402, actually 401 for Batman. Yeah, that was her next actual appearance. Yep. Now, aside from having the introduction of these characters, I mean, the only new character aside from, I mean, if you think about it, is there like actual new characters? Now, I should point out though, John Byrne does the Man of Steel miniseries, Superman Volume 2, and he does Action Comics. He writes all that. Then you probably think, okay, then who writes Avengers Superman? Marv Wolfman. Yes, Marv Wolfman does Superman, with Jerry Ordway on the artwork. Yep. Now, the question is, how in the world did John Byrne get time to do 2 ongoing series at the same time? No idea. You know, the writing and artwork. Plus, I love these covers. These classic 80s style covers. Yep. And here's what Book 1. Out of the Green Dawn. Yeah, this basically introduced something that you actually don't see the Kryptonians when they show in flashback nowadays. We see them wearing these green robes. Which, by the way, when the Eradicator, when he first showed up, he actually was wearing one of these things, except his was red. Yeah, this is basically, this story here is, I mean, it seems as though that John Byrne took a lot of inspiration from the Christopher Reeve movies. Somewhat, anyways. Mostly in how some characters look. But in the case of the Kryptonians, not sure. So, they send basically the backstory of like, oh yeah, the destruction of the planet. And that's been pretty much canon for years. And you have come on, seriously. You know, Clark trying for the football team. Lana Lang, I kind of almost forgot she actually appeared in issue 1. She also returned for issue 6. Now, in this issue, this one, Superman found out he's actually not from Earth. Now, we're thinking, now I'm going to show up the spaceship. Now, every time this spaceship has shown up, whenever Superman arrives on Earth as a baby, the ship always looks different. Every time. This is how John Byrne drew it. Yes, a thing looks like a freaking egg. Yes, as for why in the world it looks like this, I don't know. I never met John Byrne. But yeah, that's when Clark Kent was a baby. Of course, they show these. Apparently, he was kept these like tentacle stuff. Also, for some reason, I'm not sure why this is. Apparently, the way that Martha Kent was drawn when she was younger, where she looks almost exactly like Lana Lang. You were thinking, oh, maybe Clark's name with her. No, it's Lois. It's Lois. So we see him on the fly at first time, and this is just in the first issue, like all the highlights of his stuff, and eventually by the end of issue 1, he finally gets his costume. And that's the end of issue 1 for this miniseries. Issue 2, despite the fact that you could say this is the introduction to Lois, she actually made her first post-crisis appearance in the second issue of Boost of Gold. Yeah, I'm not really sure why that was. It's kind of weird. Now, if you're thinking, okay, what book was released first? Boost of Gold Volume 2? Boost of Gold Issue 2? Yeah, this is kind of there's our first appearance post Flashpoint. For some reason, I do not know why. But probably publication-wise anyways, but Jimmy Olsen himself, yeah, let's see. Well, technically, yes, the second issue of this miniseries is his introduction. But Lois? Nope. Well, you could say it was issue 1. I have heard she also did appear in issue of Boost of Gold. It was probably the end of the issue. Yes. Yeah. Because I remember reading a line here that apparently was Boost to Go she showed up in. It was issue 7. Yes, issue 7. Interesting. Yeah, so introduction of Lois in issue. Well, she technically appeared in the. She probably at some point appeared in issue 1, probably as a reporter. So the issue 2, you can kind of think of it as Superman's public debut with this costume. A costume he would maintain for years. There was some slight alterations over the years. But yeah, maintain the same costume. Knocks out a woman who's got a bomb. Now, this next bit here, I would definitely say it's pulled directly from the very first Suit movie. Like Superman dropping Lois at her balcony and, of course, hang out in her apartment. And her flying away apartment. My guess is John Byrne must have loved the Christopher movie, so he basically... That could be reference to that. Issue 3 is the introduction to Batman. Well, meets Batman for the first time. Now, as for... You probably ask, okay, now Magpie appears in this very issue. It's overall a really good issue. Now, this is Magpie first shows up, close up her face, and... Yeah... This is a better look of her. There's Magpie. Yeah. And wow. I gotta admit, very beautiful woman. Yeah, and the weird thing about her is her hair. It's like, yeah. Yes, Batman easily intimidates her. But then we see, oh yeah, that apparently this hair do of hers, it's a wig. Yes, why in the world it looks like basically just a part of her scalp, I have no idea. It's by far one of the most weirdest things. Issue 4, the post-crisis introduction to Lex Luthor, who's got red hair. Yep, red hair. And gives Lois his sexy dress. So Clark shaves and puts on a tuxedo. Like, damn, he looks very sharp in that tuxedo. So he's flown over to his yacht. And here's Lex. And you're thinking, wait, this makes no sense. Lex Luthor is bald. Why does he have hair? Post-crisis. Yes. Also, as you can see here, he's a bit chunky. Yes. Why in the world John Byrne drew this way? I have no idea. And apparently, like, she doesn't like him very much, and, well, she like, basically just turns him down, and of course, like, here's your gift back, and of course, hey, he's like, hey, Kent, lend me your jacket. Okay. And apparently because Clark Kent is a big, huge guy, and of course she helps. And the one thing I at least appreciate, though, about John Byrne's version of Clark Kent, the way he writes him, he's not stupid. He's not like, oh, I'll just basically tip over. Like, despite the fact he's trying to maintain secret identity, at least he's not written to be stupid, like, be so scared of a freaking gun. Yes, you at least appreciate that John Byrne wrote him that way, because normally when Clark Kent kind of like, oh, don't shoot me, don't shoot me. Here, he gets whacked in the freaking face and he gets trying to shoot me that way. And of course, Lex tries to basically cover it up. Like, does a check basically the criminals. Lex, of course, gets arrested for his nonsense. Though he gets out, no problem. By issue 5, it's the debut, post-crisis appearance of Bizarro. Yes, Bizarro. That's what issue 5 does. There he is. It's Bizarro. Yeah, he didn't appear very much early on for some reason. And then the final issue, that's when Superman finds out about his backstory, about him being from Krypton. And we're in a long lane again. Rest of issue 1 for this miniseries. Yep. And then we have... We have issue 1 of Superman, Volume 2. Now, this issue is the introduction to Metallo post-Flashpoint. Yep. First appearance of Metallo. And this is how Metallo looks like in his debut. He looks like this. But that's not the actual look, basically, that is very curious of. Because John Byrne has been noted to do this with this character. Well, look, he has a robot design of that suit. And the thing is, from what I've heard about this robot design for Metallo, this is heavily based upon the T-101 from the Terminator movie. Yep. After issue 1 of that, which of course that's when it kind of becomes publicly known that Superman's an alien. Then we have 584 of Action Comics. And Action Comics from issues about 584 to almost about 600 for some reason, I'm not really sure why this was. Byrne did this, where he made this a team-up book. Yes, he made one of DC's most premier titles a team-up book for no reason. And it's him taking on the Teen Titans. Yes. Of course, you have Dick Giordano doing the artwork for this one. Yes, Dick Giordano. So he does not have time to do the artwork for this one. He does have time to do the artwork for Superman. Yep. Really interesting issue. It's basically a first time, basically, Superman's countering the Teen Titans post-crisis. Yep. And at the conclusion of the issue, we actually have, let's find out in issue 2 of who is Superman. And Lex makes a computer to find out that Clark Kent is Superman, and he doesn't believe it. Nope, he does not believe it. As a matter of fact, he does not confirm this until when he's elected president. Yep. Oh yeah, in case you're curious though, Lex has slimmed down since his debut, and he's also shaved his head. He's more businessman now. Pre-crisis, he wasn't. He was just a mad scientist. Of course, a lot of language shows up again here. Luthor does his normal stuff here you would see him do in, like, the cartoon. Yep. And then we finally get to Avengers Superman 424. Love this cover. This cover is gorgeous. Jerry Way does a great job with this one. Premiere issue, despite the fact it's issue 424, I call it premiere issue. Yeah. Now, is there any debuts in 524? Well, no major characters made debut in this one. Nope, it's just Superman being Superman. Yep. Good stuff here for this one. Mark Ruffalo himself does a great job. Interesting that they go straight to basically 525 right after the first issue. Yep. And then we have Action Comics 585, where he teams up with the Phantom Stranger. Yep, that's an interesting idea. To take out what appears to be Cersei. Yeah. A version anyway, on her old. Excuse me, take the Phantom Stranger basically helps him out. It's an absolute great story. Interesting though, Superman doesn't team up with Phantom Stranger very much. Yeah, Phantom Stranger teams up with a non-magic superhero. What does DC do in order to team up with somebody who's non-magical? Team up Batman. And I have issue 3 of Superman, where it's a tie-in to the crossover Legends. Yeah, this storyline itself was loosely adapted for the final season of Smallville, where Darkseid decided to implement sort of this hypnotic effect on the population, and at one point in the main miniseries, convinced a small group of people to attack the White House and try to kill the president. And they attack him, and they show up, oh yeah, Ronald Reagan, who was president at this point, he was actually in the comic at that point. So, like, massive abs. And it turns out, nope, this actually was not Ronald Reagan. This was, in fact, Martian Manhunter. This is the whole thing of basically the population turned against the DC superheroes because of other stuff related to other creatures. So, basically, with the exception of Superman, no superhero could be active at this point, so they had to basically be banned. The only reason Superman basically was avoided this, basically, nonsense very much, was because he's Superman, he's needed. So, also this meant the Just Like Detroit team was disbanded, and it was reformed after Legends as, well, simply Justice League, and then was reformed into Justice League International with the introduction of Booster Gold. Yep, more to talk about that more in next comic. Yeah, whole thing with this one, it's like, yeah. Well, there is one more issue in this one, and that's it for Superman. Yeah, Superman gets like 4 issues. Avengers Superman gets 5. And Action Comics also gets 5, but Superman gets frickin' 4. Yeah. This Superman issue simply put basically Superman under the influence of Darkseid for a bit, but he gets over it, no problem. Yeah. And then we apparently come over to Avengers Superman 426, where it picks up like right after that lays up. Yeah, this basically was a thing with Superman where the books were very continuous. Yeah, 3 books same time, and it rotate a lot. Yeah, I love the Superman Who Gods Up. This was so awesome. And then we get to issue 4 of Superman, where he fights Bloodsport. I believe this is the original Bloodsport, if I'm not mistaken. Because there were several Bloodsport. You're thinking Bloodsport? Like, you mean the movie? With Jean-Claude Van Damme? No, this is the comic version. This is a comic character with the same name. Yes. Now, the thing with this guy is, this is technically his debut appearance. And he's here in comics for about 8 years before he gets killed off in Avengers Superman 526 in 1995. Excuse me, of course, this was the original Bloodsport. Bobby DuBois. His successors were Alex Trent and some unknown other guy who were basically the three Bloodsports. Yes. And this guy was also killed off in the same issue. Yes, but as for what happened to the third one, it seems like it was only for a couple of years. The third one popped up in 2006, and he didn't do very much at all. No, not necessarily. Like, he popped up through Superman, a couple of Salvation Run, and Action Comics, and that was it. That is literally all he did with the character. In the case of this book here, well, this book was technically his debut. I mean, aside from this one issue, he appeared like a few more times, and that was it. Yeah, because of being manipulated, so he only appeared just a few more times after this one. Like, he appeared in 2 issues of Adventure Superman, issues 507, 526, 526 being his death, an issue of World's Finest, Superman Secret Files Orange number 1, and Formula's Justice League number 4, along with JLA/Avengers number 3. And that was it. Just a small handful of appearances of this character. This character would appear actually in the Suicide Squad, played by Idris Elba. Yeah, Bloodsport is a violent vigilante who is manipulated by Lex Luthor to kill people. Yeah. That's really the whole point of this issue. Though he basically becomes to the very end and doesn't do much after this. Yep. As for 428 of Avengers Superman, well, just more Superman being Superman instead of dealing with like some crisis, international crisis, and that's simply it for that one. As for 587 for Action Comics, Superman teams up with Edric and the Demon for a sort of a weird story involving the weather and ice. It's a weird issue. Yeah. But there you go. The very first trade for Superman Man of Steel post-crisis. I'm going to give that book a 10 out of 10. It's really good. Nothing really bad there for that one. Alright, next up is Booster Gold. Future Lost. This contains Booster Gold issues 1325 of the original volume for the series. Now, despite this has Millennium issues 3, 4, 6, and 7, it's more basically his appearances in the event Millennium than basically throwing not the entire issue. Along with Action Comics 594 and Secret Wars 35. Now, weirdly enough, when it comes to these issues, it's Booster Gold living in the future in these issues, living in the present. They have a company which gets bankrupt by the Manhunter stuff. Yeah. But this book here, it's just pure awesomeness at its finest when it comes to Booster Gold. Because it's written by his, of course, this was his original run, done by his creator, Dan Jurgens. Dan Jurgens told me this character the inspiration for this character was a Olympian who was outed as somebody who took corporate sponsorship. And he figured out, make it Booster Gold. And Dan Jurgens must have loved this armor so much because in the 90s, he actually stopped wearing this as time was damaged. They made a bulky armor. And then he popped up in Superman, which was done by Dan Jurgens at that point. He puts Booster Gold back in this attire. Yeah. And there's even an issue here, I believe it's issue 13 or 14, I think it is, where pretty much the end of the issue, all it does is help set up when he joins the Justice League. Just to put what it is. And he also fights Rainbow Raider, who is a Flash villain. Yes, a Flash villain. And of course we have 594, which is a crossover with this book. Which, that's written by John Byrne. It starts in there and continues in here. As for the case of Secret Wars 25, it's mostly a little bit Booster Gold's backstory. That's simply what it is. And if I think, okay, if you're reading this, it contains issues 1325. What about the first trade? I don't have it yet. But this book is really good. I give this book a 10 out of 10. Really good. Okay, so that's the cycle review. Next one is going to be One Piece. Okay, next video. Bye.